Hello and welcome to Christian Weather Broadcasting. Today we're going to be forecasting subtropical storm Nicole. But before we do, take a look at the gospel message in the description because Jesus can save you from hell. Alrighty, subtropical storm Nicole has winds of 45 miles per hour, minimum central pressure of 1,000 millibars, and moving only at 9 miles per hour, though it looks like it will speed up, luckily. But we will see some effects for the Bahamas and Florida. According to the key messages, we can expect dangerous storm surge and hurricane conditions in portions of the northwestern Bahamas beginning Tuesday night, where a hurricane warning has been issued. So if you're in the Bahamas, prepare now. Okay, get to a safe place. And do anything that your local government tells you to do. Hurricane conditions are possible across portions of the coast of southeast and central Florida, beginning late Wednesday, where a hurricane watch is in effect. Tropical storm conditions are possible in the tropical storm watch areas in Florida and Georgia, beginning by early Wednesday. So by early Wednesday, start expecting some tropical storm weather. Dangerous storm surges are possible across much of the east coast of Florida and portions of coastal Georgia. Storm surge will be accompanied by large, damaging waves. So if you own boats, keep an eye on this and get ready to do something about those. And do not focus on the exact track of Nicole, since it is expected to be a large storm with hazards extending well to the north of the center, outside of the forecast cone. These hazards are likely to affect much of the Florida Peninsula and portions of the southeast U.S. And there will be possible river rises in portions of the St. Johns River, and also heavy rainfall Wednesday night. Let's go to the forecast track. As you can see, an absolute giant wind field on this storm. That's why the effects will be outside of the cone. The effects will not be centralized to the exact track of the storm, but because of the giant size of the storm, expect the conditions, the tropical storm conditions, to extend well beyond the center track of the storm. Expecting hurricane landfall in Florida now, and a weakening to a tropical storm, but then it looks like it speeds up. So we see that tropical storm strength continue throughout its track. Let's take a look at our wind speed probabilities. For portions for the Bahamas, we have about an 80-90% chance, and for portions of South and Central Florida, we have about a 50 to 60 to maybe even up to an 80% chance. Now, let's take a look at our flash flooding potential, and we'll take a look at the storm surge. It's low right now. It's a slight 15% chance, and that extends from Orlando almost down to Miami. Our peak storm surge is looking about 3 to 5 feet, so do expect some high storm surge. This is Nicole on satellite imagery. As you can see, not a very nice looking storm, and I have heard that it's not going to look nice due to its immense size, but we can expect it to strengthen according to the forecast track. The GFS model is forecasting to this storm to get around 991 millibars by landfall in Florida, and then it goes back out into the Gulf before curving back up and moving quite quickly across Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and probably even up into Virginia. So we can expect by the time it makes its second landfall in Florida, about the 96th forecast hour, it'll be about the 120th by the time it is gone. Now let's take a look at the tracks for the storm. As you can see, tracks are condensed. Looks like a South Florida and Bahamas landfall is imminent, and our intensity guidance, most of the models are bringing it to strong tropical storm for strength, some bringing it to minimal hurricane strength, though the National Hurricane Service is forecasting hurricane strength, and there is what seems like good enough water temperatures for strengthening of this storm. Now, the area where the storm will be moving to, I think there will be an area where it moves into some favorable wind shear for development, but then there's some high wind shear over Florida, so I am not sure how it'll interact with that, but I do not think, based on the forecast from the National Hurricane Center, that it'll weaken, so I'm assuming that it's not going to be affected by that wind shear, or that wind shear is going to move away. So, that is the forecast for the storm. Expect a hurricane. We're going to watch what happens with this in the next coming days and start preparing. Thank you for watching. This has been Christian Weather Broadcasting.